Hello, Global Fact 8. My name is Joel Luther, and I lead the ClaimReview and MediaReview project at the Duke Reporters Lab. I want to thank the IFCN team for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about MediaReview. If you are unfamiliar with MediaReview, it's a sibling to the ClaimReview schema, and it's designed to allow you to tag your fact checks of manipulated images and videos. This session is going to assume that you have a basic level of familiarity with ClaimReview. If you do not, there is another session just on ClaimReview that you can watch at any time during the conference. Both the ClaimReview session and this MediaReview session will be available on demand throughout the entirety of Global Fact 8, so feel free to watch them at your leisure. Come back and watch it again if you need a refresher on anything. And let's get started. So what is MediaReview? It is a sibling to ClaimReview that's a new way to tag fact checks of videos and images. We, like many others, were concerned about the rise of manipulated media in the lead up to the 2020 election. Deepfakes were the big threat that haven't quite materialized the way that we thought they would, but manipulated media, out of context media, is still a huge problem, and we're seeing more and more fact checks of this type of media. So MediaReview was built to address that. Want to acknowledge our partners as always. We worked with schema.org, Google, Facebook, and Jigsaw on this project, and have been in contact with numerous other organizations, including the Partnership on AI and Witness. The concept of MediaReview is independent fact checking. Similar to ClaimReview, the fact checkers are deciding what they're going to check. So they're deciding what videos, images to check. They're doing their own research, determining the authenticity and the accuracy of the claims, and then they publish their articles on their site and publish MediaReview with their articles. The platforms then receive signals from MediaReview, much like they do with ClaimReview, and can make independent decisions about what to do with the manipulated images or videos on their platforms. We think this is really valuable to have independence in fact checking so that fact checkers are still deciding for themselves what to check, and platforms can take those signals and make their own decisions about content enforcement. So we began the process of developing MediaReview in August 2019. And what we noticed was there was no common language or consistent practice to describe media manipulation. When published, fact checkers didn't, at the time, always use ClaimReview to describe the manipulated media. And ultimately, ClaimReview is inadequate for describing the types of manipulation that's applied to videos and images. So here's an example of the Nancy Pelosi shallow fake that I'm sure everyone in this room is familiar with. This was a video that was slowed down to make Nancy Pelosi's speech slower and make it appear that she was drunk. What you can see from the ClaimReview here, there's no consistent language. So one outlet here calls it doctored, another says it's slowed down. There was no way that fact checkers could commonly talk about the types of edits that were made to media. So that was part of our goals in introducing MediaReview. We wanted to encourage more checks and debunking of images and videos. We wanted to establish this consistent terminology, and we wanted to enable clear and consistent communication between the fact checkers and the platforms. MediaReview grew out of this taxonomy developed by the Washington Post. This is their guide to manipulated video. You'll see a lot of similar terms in MediaReview. We worked with them and adapted this guide to images and audio as well. So we circulated a first draft of this adapted Washington Post taxonomy in October 2019 and asked for feedback. We got a ton of comments from fact checkers and from others, and we took those into consideration and then began the process of the schema development in November, and again sent another draft, asked for feedback and comments. Some testing, initial testing took place with international fact checkers in January in Singapore and in Washington, DC. We presented MediaReview at the last Global Fact 7, also in Oslo, also from my home computer in Durham. And then we published a call for feedback on the remaining questions that we had with development of MediaReview. So here you can see throughout the process, we've been soliciting feedback from the community, and we'll go into a little bit some of the edits that we've made to the schema, taking your feedback into account. MediaReview was covered in Neiman Lab by Josh Benton. Again, this was a great way for us to get publicity for the project and a great way to further call her for comment and feedback on what we were developing. So the basic idea of MediaReview is that it's two levels. It enables a fact checker to assess the image or the video and the claim itself. So you would first identify whether an image has been manipulated or taken out of context with MediaReview, and then you can also assess any factual claims in that video or image with ClaimReview. So we really think of MediaReview and ClaimReview as siblings and working together in most cases. So a piece of media can be manipulated and also contain one or more factual claims, and we want you to feel empowered to address both of those scenarios. And it also creates a valuable new standard for fact-checking unaltered or original videos and images, like a campaign ad that might contain a false claim. I just want to take you through the ratings that we've developed in collaboration with you, the fact-checking community, and with the platforms and outside stakeholders. So first rating, original. In this case, the definition is here: no evidence the footage has been misleadingly altered or manipulated, but it could still contain false or misleading claims. We have an example here. This was a video of a woman claiming that her friend told her that New York City hospitals were treating COVID-19 patients, leaving them to rot and die. This was an unaltered video, but contained factual claims. So in this case, we would rate it original and then use ClaimReview to address the factual claims made in the video. Missing context, presenting unaltered video in an inaccurate manner that misrepresents the footage. So using incorrect dates or locations, altering the transcript, or sharing brief clips from a longer video to mislead viewers. Here's a clip of Joe Biden takes part of his speech, leaves out the rest of the context, just presents it as a tiny bit, and so that's missing context. The other thing that we see huge in this category is taking a video or image from one location and captioning it as something else, or one time and captioning it as something else, just presenting a piece of media in a context other than its original intention. Edited for video applies to time edits. So this is anything that affects the timeline of the video, editing multiple videos together to alter the story being told, or editing out large portions from a video. In this example from factcheck.org, a campaign ad took out parts of the question and answer, spliced them together to make a more favorable video for the campaign. Transformed is a little more sophisticated. This is part or all of the video has been manipulated to transform the footage itself. So this uses tools like the Adobe Suite to change the speed of the video, add or remove elements, or dub audio. And we include deepfakes in this category, transformed. These are any type of synthetic media, anything like that could count as transformed. So a great example here is that Nancy Pelosi video. Because the footage itself was altered and slowed down, that would be rated transformed. Staged is a video that has been created using actors or similarly contrived. And so here we see a fact check from AFP, posted in a Facebook group, purports to show a police encounter, but it's actually from a movie set in Brazil. So this is staged. In this case, because it's also taken out of context and presented as something it's not, we would apply the missing context rating as well. Satire Parody is a video that was created as political or humorous commentary and is presented in that context. So that last part is key. It's presented in humorous commentary, political commentary context. If it's reshared, not including the relevant context, it's more likely to fall under the missing context rating. So here is an example. This is a video edited, created as satire, and it's presented in that context. You see the big comedy tag there on the page. If it had been shared without the context, we would have rated it missing context. Similar ratings for images, but we'll go through those as well. Original, same definition, no evidence the image has been misleadingly altered or manipulated, but it could still contain false or misleading claims. So here's an image with an embedded text caption. The image itself is original, has not been manipulated or altered. In this case, we would choose the media type to be image with overlaid or embedded text, rate the image original, and then use ClaimReview to rate the claim made in the text itself. Missing context, again, taking images that are unaltered and presenting them in an inaccurate manner. So this image was purported to be taken during the Million MAGA March in 2020. It was actually from a Cleveland Cavaliers parade in June 2016. So we would rate that missing context. Cropped is when part of an image is taken from a larger whole and presented to mislead the viewer. So here is a photo that was used in a campaign ad, supposedly showing Joe Biden alone and hiding. The full photo showed him surrounded by supporters and members of the press. Transformed, again, more sophisticated. This is actually editing the photo itself, adding or deleting visual elements to give the image a different meaning with the intention to mislead. So here you see the hats were photoshopped to be Trump hats, and so we're rating that transformed. Staged, an image that was created using actors or similarly contrived, such as a screenshot of a fake tweet. And so the big instant that we see for staged ratings and images is fake tweets. So here's a claim that Donald Trump tweeted, "My blood is the vaccine." That was false, and so we've rated that staged. Satire and parody, again, an image that was created as political or humorous commentary and is presented in that context. So here is a screenshot from a tweet by The Onion. The Onion is a known satire site in the US. Because it is presented from The Onion and The Onion is a well-known site, we would choose satire and parody for this. Again, if this were reshared without context that it was satire, we would choose missing context. So that Nancy Pelosi shallow fake. If MediaReview existed at the time, here's what it would have looked like. Because fact checkers found the video was selectively edited and that it made an implicit claim that Pelosi was drunk, we would use MediaReview to rate it transformed. The video was slowed down to give a misleading impression, and then use ClaimReview to rate the claim that Nancy Pelosi was drunk giving a speech. We were excited to start testing MediaReview with our fact stream partners. So these are some of the largest fact checkers in the United States: PolitiFact, The Washington Post, and factcheck.org. So far, they have made 389 MediaReview entries. One thing to note from those entries is that missing context is huge, accounting for 66% of all the pieces of media they rated. This is something that we see commonly, that the main type of media manipulation is an edit to the caption or an edit to the description, indicating that it's something that it's not. And one of the great things about this testing phase with our fact stream partners was that we could look at fact checkers' ratings of the same piece of media and check for consistency. So in this case, this Trump ad misleadingly used a CNN interview. Every fact checker here you see rated it edited because parts of the interview were cut out. Again, we think of MediaReview and ClaimReview as together, as related. We still want you to make ClaimReview. This is something that we had to make an update to in our own web form, just to make sure that fact checkers knew that MediaReview is not intended as a replacement for ClaimReview. We now display the ClaimReview fields by default, and fact checkers are encouraged to create a related ClaimReview with their MediaReview. We've taken feedback and added new media types, new rating categories as well. So one thing that we knew is that a lot of content shared on social media specifically are of images with an embedded text caption. And so we've made that its own type that you can select now in the MediaReview form. And we also know that audio is a much bigger factor in fact checking globally than it is in the United States. So reshares of audio on WhatsApp or on Telegram, we expect to see much more commonly used by the global fact-checking community. And so we added that as a type as well. And made changes to the rating categories. So we heard that staged and satire were important to account for, and we added those to the MediaReview schema as well. And we were excited a couple of months ago to expand testing to a global audience. So we worked with Google to add MediaReview fields directly into the fact check markup tool. We think a good number of fact checkers are using the fact check markup tool already to create ClaimReview. And so this enables them to make MediaReview for testing purposes right in the same tool. You can see here, just like the FactStream tool, we have all of the ratings and their definitions presented on the page. And so if you need a refresher on anything, you can find it right there when you're making MediaReview. Similar findings from phase 2, missing context reigns supreme, accounts for 171 of those 351 test entries, approximately 45%. We're super grateful to have MediaReview contributed by 35 outlets. If you have made MediaReview through this phase 2 testing with Google's fact check markup tool, you've probably heard from me directly. I have been reaching out to fact checkers. I've been reading all of your MediaReview entries and reaching out to say thank you, solicit your feedback, provide feedback from our end where we can, and look for patterns on how we can tweak MediaReview if we need to change ratings, change definitions, whatever we need to do to make a better final product. You really helped us with that. Thank you. And as always, we invite you to provide us feedback, to try it out for yourself. Reach out to me directly. My email address is here, joel.luther@duke.edu. And we have a home for MediaReview on the ClaimReview project website, claimreviewproject.org/MediaReview. We're excited to share this with you. We really are proud of the work that we've done and think it has true potential to help get your fact checks more exposure and to help standardize the way that we talk about manipulated images and videos. I will be around throughout the rest of the conference. I'm hosting office hour sessions every day to talk about ClaimReview and MediaReview, so feel free to stop in at any time. You can also reach out to me on my email. I'm happy to receive questions or feedback or anything that you would like to share on the ClaimReview or MediaReview schemas. Thank you, and have a great rest of your global fact.